The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. So glad again to have a good friend, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. We're talking two things tonight. Philippine visa waiver, something I'm very familiar with because I sponsored the same bill in the 27th Guam legislature. Likewise, capturing taxes whose companies are doing business out here, but not necessarily paying taxes out here in Guam. Good evening, Senator. How are you doing?
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me again.
You know, I was excited. I was reading about your resolution, the Philippine visa waiver. I know there's some things have changed, but some of the reasons why we still haven't got that the visa waiver for the Philippines still lies on, of course, the overstay situation and all that. What has changed since my 27th Guam legislature?
Yeah, and so thank you again. And as you were we were talking earlier about how this was your initiative as well. I'm finding a lot of things that we have in common.
Yeah.
So, you know, I guess I can say.
Welcome to the Republican Party.
Although, okay, now that's going too
that's going too far. I think
yes.
it is.
But anyways, you know, we're total Guam, so
yeah.
we're all the same, right? But anyways, so this effort that I have now is a resolution that's encouraging and providing support for our governor to petition the U.S. Department of Homeland Security to grant a Guam CNMI only visa waiver for the Philippines and also for Vietnam. We know that during the 20th legislature, when the federal law was amended in 2008 was amended, that amended the Guam CNMI visa waiver our program. Yeah. The Philippines was looked at, but at the time, the Philippines and Vietnam had a high percentage of rejections,
yes.
Since then, we know that Vietnam has decreased substantially, and so it is in a level where it's more acceptable now. The Philippines is still quite high. However, things have changed since then. The relationship between the United States and the Philippines has really expanded and improved. The Philippines is the leading in Asia.
Yeah, economic, again.
It's a powerhouse.
It's a powerhouse in Asia, actually. In Asia, yeah.
And so there's so many, we believe, factors that would allow the federal government to take a look at this now and provide this and look at this favorably.
Sure.
And so we've been working with the Congresswoman's office, and she has determined that the way to approach this is for the governor to petition Homeland Security. And so we are now moving in that direction to provide the support that he can take with him to move forward in that petition. And perhaps, even making it where it's just for Guam or CNMI, but even making it more refined to make it a pilot program.
Sure.
And some of the things that you looked at before.
I mean, and that was my resolution at the time, is the Guam only Philippine visa waiver. Now here's the thing that has changed over the years now. I mean, when I introduced my resolution at the time, which was passed, some of the things, I mean, our relationship was with the Philippines was all right, not where it is at this point. I mean, now a lot better now, but what has changed as well now the folks that are being able to that are acquiring visitor visa waivers, visitor visas from the U.S. Embassy, it's almost standard that if you can get a visa from the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines, almost standard, they give you automatic 10 years.
That's right.
And one of the reasons why is because there's a lot of money that, of course, that Filipinos, where they live in Guam or elsewhere, there's a lot of money that goes back when their driving force of their economy is money coming from outside, going in there from expats, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. So what the U.S. wants to do is says, hey, we want to recoup some of this money. So if you're able to travel into the United States, you can stay there. Actually, I think it's 3 months or something like that.
I believe so.
Something
90
like
days,
that.
yeah.
90 days. You can stay there, okay? You can't work. You can be a visitor, so you're going to be spending money.
That's right.
So that's one of the reasons the U.S. did that, so they can try to recoup some of that money.
That's right.
The high rejection rate, of course, in the Philippines, we know that. One of the components of my resolution was that because of that is to add a bond component or insurance policy, basically. If I had a family member that was coming here to Guam, I would have to be responsible to sponsor this individual or individuals to come here, and I'll take an insurance, create a little business as well for insurance companies and bond companies here, that I take a little bond out. Cost me a little bit, but it will guarantee that my family member that's coming here, guarantee the return because I've taken that insurance. So I placed that mechanism in there again to answer their concern about the overstay.
That's right.
What are your thoughts on,
Yeah,
on
no,
that?
and so that's where we're, once we finalize this resolution and put a packet together, that's probably one of the things that we would include in recommending to the governor that he provide a U.S. Department of Homeland Security, because we know that there's a large middle class in the Philippines now. We have another airline that's servicing Guam.
Three now.
That's three now from the Philippines. So not only will it be a positive for us here for tourism and our economic, to stimulate the economy here, but there's thousands of Filipinos here that will be able to bring their families here and experience Guam and also spend money.
Sure.
So that's what we're looking for, and I'm sure there, if there are any concerns about the overstays, there's safeguards, as you had mentioned, that we can put in place. I mean, look at this. We have a visa waiver for Russian nationals. We have visa waivers for these countries that we don't even have. The U.S. doesn't have a real good relationship with.
That we were involved in a Cold War.
That's right.
Basically, kind of like a friendly enemy.
That's right. And so the time is really now to be able to pursue this, especially now with the Obama administration. So we're trying to see if we can rush this, because there's only a few more months left in the administration for the Obama administration.
Sure.
And so we're hoping that this is something the governor will be able to pursue as well. We know that GVB supports it, GITA supports it, the number of missions, the trade missions that they take to the Philippines, they know there's interest there. And so there's really a big potential for us economically here, to be able to benefit from the Philippines, but also from Vietnam as well.
No, absolutely. Well, I mean, here's the thing at this point as well. As you said, we've got 3 airlines now. I'm hearing there may be a 4th airline. It's looking like one of the airlines may be looking at also departing from a different destination. I think from Cebu, maybe even coming out here. So you're really looking at that market. I mean, it's really emerged a lot, and where we've seen a decline in the numbers of the Japanese side. Looks like the Korean tour. We've got a Korean tourist visa basically.
Waiver, yes.
So that has picked up. The Korean market, of course, Philippine market has picked up on that declining market, which was our bread and butter for the longest time. Yeah.
That's right. And so we have to be able to look at these different markets, just as you're right, as Japan is falling, the Korean is up, but then, how long would that last as well? I believe with the Philippine market, because of the ties between the Filipinos here and the Philippines, that if we do have this type of program, visa waiver, that it's really something that could be sustained long term as well.
No, and the relationship, again, based on the Obama administration and the Aquino administration at this point, actually both Aquino will be departing before Obama does.
June.
Isn't that, a couple of months. And so regardless of who the next president in the Philippines and U.S. president, they're still, we know that the importance of the region. Of course, we have the same threats of that region from North Korea and China at this point. But let me ask this as well. In answering, of course, the overstay, okay, we've kind of answered that in protective mechanisms. This doesn't answer the fact that the Homeland Security Department, Homeland Security, based on this, the H2 is a different story, because that's affecting us as well in regards to recruitment, recruitment for nurses. Again, of course, this build-up that we're having, as much as we're trying to build up our own workforce here, it's just, we just don't have the time, we don't have the people in order to substantiate that amount. It's 2 different issues.
That's right.
How can we combat that?
Yeah, I was able to kind of get educated on this issue with the H2 and how it's affecting our new hospital as well. And so, because I was kind of concerned, I said, okay, if they're doing this, what are the prospects of this visa waiver? But based on what we have been told and based on our research, is that this is not really a policy, this is something not policy related, where they're rejecting H2 applicants from the Philippines. I believe it's more of they have new officers that have come in, and so they're really taking a harder look and just having that ability to say, okay, no, this is rejected.
So it's the typical scenario of one size fits all.
That's right. That's right. And so that is really is good news on our efforts for this visa waiver, because we know it's not policy related.
Policy.
And so it's something that we should still pursue.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back. Talk about uncollected taxes.
Thank you.
Be right back.